What if I told you that the beautiful historical monument behind me, the Humayun's tomb, in the near future, in most likelihood won't look the same? Yes, you heard me right. The government, through its Adopt a Heritage 2.0 scheme, is trying to enforce the entry of corporates in the field of heritage conservation.
In September 2023, when S. Jaishankar launched the Adopt a Heritage 2.0 scheme, said that the government aims to do something called as cultural rebalancing. However, critics say that it is a concentrated attempt at erasing the Mughals from Delhi's history, as the only museum dedicated to Mughal history in Delhi has been shut since 2018. Adopt a Heritage scheme, when launched, came in the gambit of corporate social responsibility, or the CSR. But as things progressed, the corporate-backed NGOs have allegedly ignored the ASI and World Heritage guidelines.
These corporates, allegedly with very little experience into heritage conservation, are trying to build fine dine restaurants, lifts, and cafes inside these historical monuments. I'm at the southern gate, the royal southern gate of this Humayun's tomb, and as I can see, there are two floors, and on the first floor there's a central hall and there are adjoining rooms on the left and the right. So the government and a corporate run NGO named Sabhyata Foundation is planning to transform this southern gate into a fine dine restaurant. And this news has come after a report by the Wire's Meetu Jain last week, where she had reported that the Dalmia Group, as per Adopt a Heritage 2.0 scheme of the Indian government, is planning to change a lot of these monuments, and beginning with Humayun's tomb. There are other two monuments in Delhi, which is the Safdarjung tomb and also the Mehrauli Archeological Park. So all these places, there are certain new amenities which are being planned. There are fine dine restaurants, there are cafes, there are lifts which are being planned by the Sabhyata Foundation, and this has got the historians really worried. What's the story in detail? Come with me.
The Wire's report on the Adopt a Heritage scheme is based on a vision document by the Sabhyata Foundation. In this vision document, the Dalmia Group, run corporate NGO, plans to build various amenities which could hamper the historical significance of the monuments. The foundation is owned by the Dalmia Group, whose founder, the late Vishnu Hari Dalmia, was a former president of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and also an accused in the Babri Masjid demolition case. Humayun's tomb is one of the 4 monuments allegedly protected by the Smarak Sarthi, the Sabhyata Foundation. Humayun's tomb was built in the 1560s with the patronage of Humayun's son, the great Emperor Akbar. Persian and Indian craftsmen worked together to build the garden tomb, far grander than any tomb built before in the Islamic world. But it did not look the same during the 20th century or even the early 21st century.
So all these beautiful monuments that we see today in the Humayun's tomb complex were not really in the same form if you see the pictures of the early 20th century or even in the 2000s. It was only after the ASI, along with organizations like Aga Khan Foundation, restored the entire place. They almost took out 1 million tons of cement. This was the cement which came after the 20th century works which happened on the structure, but these all were taken off, and Aga Khan did a great work of restoring the entire place.
The 1958 Ancient Monuments Act safeguards monuments. ASI prohibits cooking inside to prevent damage. After the Wire story last week, the Ministry of Culture said that no new amenities will come up in the tomb complex. However, the vision document tells a different story.
Lush cafes and drinks have become a part and parcel of a city, how a city looks rather, but that cafe rather not be inside a heritage monument, and that is what is being questioned today, because this is the beautiful west gate of the Humayun's tomb, and according to the vision document, a cafe is being planned here, and also there are going to be lifts which are being proposed inside this very gate. So this is one of the things that are planned according to vision document. So the Humayun's tomb is surrounded on 4 sides by these tiny pools, Actually, these tiny pools are part of a design called Char Bagh or Four Gardens. These Char Baghs were part of the original design which was built in the 16th century. And according to the vision document of the Sabhyata Foundation, on these Char Baghs, they have planned to have events, and also the light and sound show which will happen on the western facade of the Humayun's tomb. The seating arrangement would be done on this Char Bagh as per the vision document. Also, in the document, they have pointed out there are certain big old trees right in the middle of the Char Bagh, and they are planning to relocate those trees. These are very big trees and these look very old, and that's why this is also a point of concern for a lot of people here. The construction of these pools is inspired by the four Quranic rivers, and that's why the water flows from all the four directions. And this Charbagh was originally constructed when the Humayun's tomb was also constructed, and this was the first of its kind, and it's also of historical significance as per a lot of historians. This beautiful complex is also known as the dormitory of the Mughals. There are a lot of tombs and other historically significant monuments other than the Humayun's tomb itself in this very complex.
From Humayun's tomb, we also visit the Safdarjung tomb, which is also part of the vision document by the Sabhyata Foundation.
So from the Humayun's tomb, we are now at the beautiful Safdarjung tomb. This is one of the last Mughal architectures of that time, and this is the tomb of Safdarjung. He was the second Nawab of Awadh and also the Prime Minister under the Mughal Emperor. Here specifically, the Sabhyata Foundation is planning to build a long range of light and sound show, especially in between these water canals, these huge water canals that are in between. There's same water canals on the opposite side as well, and this water canal and the garden is based on again the Charbagh philosophy which we see in other Mughal monuments, as we also saw in the Humayun's tomb. So the historians are also worried about the sanctity, the historical sanctity, and also the fact that this area is actually a place for tombs, and how fair it would be to have light and sound show and music and dance at a place where someone is buried. So there are n number of things that the Sabhyata Foundation is planning to have inside the Safdarjung tomb complex. One of the things that is being planned is the musical fountain show at the Badshah Pasand. Badshah Pasand is on my right here, and there's a cafe and fine dining also at the Badshah Pasand which is being planned. At the Charbagh where I am standing, there are light and sound shows which are also being planned.
The Ministry of Culture's Adopt a Heritage Scheme 2.0 allows private entities to adopt protected monuments and develop a vision for their maintenance and upkeep. In this case, the Dalmia Group has submitted a vision document and signed MOUs with the Archeological Survey of India for 4 monuments, which are Humayun's tomb, Safdarjung tomb, Mehrauli Archeological Park, and Purana Qila. However, the ministry claims that the action plan submitted by the Dalmias is still under consideration. Nevertheless, the wire has obtained copies of the MOUs, which suggest that the process is further along than the ministry claims. ASI officials, speaking anonymously, confirmed that the MOU is a legal document that outlines the work to be done based on the vision document submitted by the Dalmias. The vision document clearly states the group's intentions for the 4 monuments, raising questions about the ministry's claim that the action plan is still under consideration.